Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel for the first race in our My Team career mode. Yes, this will be our first race in our My Team career mode in Australia. As I said before, I'll be starting the My Team career mode and I'm buzzing so much for this. I can't wait to get this series started. I hope you guys can't wait too. Before we start, I did some changes. This is our new racing suit, so I changed it. It's red and white now, and also my helmet is a bit different. Before it was just a simple helmet, but now it's a bit more colorful, a bit with a bit more detail, and the gloves are also different. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys before we start. And now we check the final tire allocation and jump straight into qualifying for our first race in my team. So yeah, we start qualifying and we have our first problem, but it's only 2 minutes, so that won't cost us too much time. And now the problem is fixed. We are starting our first flying lap in our My Team career mode here with our new team, Alpha Ferrari, with a nice red and yellow livery. So yeah, our first qualifying session of the year. The practice sessions went all pretty smooth. Car is feeling great. Yeah, I'm actually quite confident for this qualifying session. Obviously, yes, top 10 is a bit out of range, but I definitely think that we can get a good result here. And yeah, as we come through the final corner, open DRS, run across the line. What's it going to be after the first run? It will be P11. Still plenty to improve as we start our second flying lap now. We're currently all the way down in P19, but ahead of our teammate Nick De Vries, who is in P21. So obviously 22 cars are on the grid since our team joined. So yeah, if you didn't notice that yet. So yeah, 22 cars on the grid, but now we improved a lot in our second lap. We run across the line from P19, we jump up into P14. That was a great lap, but there's still a few places to improve as we start our last, third and final run in this first qualifying session of the year, first qualifying session of this series, of this career mode in the My Team. Our first qualifying session for our new team, Alpha Ferrari. So we're currently in P13. Now we come through the chicane. We gain a lot of time here all the time as we cut the chicane a bit, as we lose the back end and we lose the front end too, as we hit the wall. We've hit the wall and Sergio Perez just rams us massively there. Oh, we've just spun around and hit the wall. No, that was not great. Let's just look at another replay. Hit the wall and Sergio Perez just comes flying at us. How did nothing break on his car? Can we just appreciate how nothing broke on his car? He just rams us totally there. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton secures pole position, and then ahead of Alex Albon and Valtteri Bottas, we are all the way down in P17. Our teammate Nick De Vries is in P21, so we're starting our first race in P17 in 2021 for our team, for the new team Alpha Ferrari. And now let's jump into the race.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996, and home to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
Ever since their participation was announced, there were questions being asked about whether an outfit like this could survive, and certainly it's proving to be a trial by fire so far. Let's hope they can continue to draw in investment and find a little more pace as well.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Alexander Albon lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Norris, Ocon and Sebastian Vettel, Sainz, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Magnussen, Raikkonen, Kvyat, the captain, and Roman Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Russell, De Vries, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So yeah, here we are then on the grid for our first race of this new career mode for our team. Our first race here at the Albert Park in Melbourne. I'm really buzzing. I can't wait to get this race started. I think we can get a really good race from P17 as we wait for fire red lights. It's lights out and away we go. We get an okay start at the beginning, but then we launch off perfectly off the line. We already overtook Danny Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen, who is on the right of us, and Kimi Raikkonen as we break a bit later. Hit Pierre Gasly with our front wing, and Kimi Raikkonen just gets back ahead of us as we are up to P60 now. After the first corners, we're gonna give a huge lunge down the inside, dive down the inside on 3 cars. Can we make the moves? Yes, we've done it. We've passed 3 cars in the space of 1 corner and we're up into P13. And Carlos Sainz is now the car in front of us and he slows down really awkwardly. Can we see the gap down the inside? We brake later than Carlos Sainz and edge ahead of him down the inside of Carlos Sainz. So after just a few corners, we're up to P12. What a great start from us there. What a great start from us there. Just after a few corners, already up into P12. That was a great start from us, and Esteban Ocon is now the car in front of us. Let's see, he's looks not that fast too. As we come through this chicane, through the slingshot, as we gain massively on Esteban Ocon, we're gaining on Esteban Ocon. He covers the inside, there's no space down the inside. We're going to try round the outside of Esteban Ocon, and we've done it. We get ahead of Esteban Ocon too, and all the way up to P11 from P17 in the space of 1 lap. So now we move all the way to the beginning of lap 5. We just set our personal best lap time. We've gained on Lance Stroll. We have the DRS on Lance Stroll now. DRS is available for us, but we're too far away to make a move. And the car behind us is still Esteban Ocon, and behind him, Carlos Sainz. So everything is really close at the moment. So yeah, we gained on Lance Stroll quite massively in these last few laps, putting the hammer down and getting these good laps in continuously. So we've gained on Lance Stroll. The car feels good at the moment. Esteban Ocon didn't really catch up that much to us again, or back up to us. So yeah, we're still ahead of him, as I just said, and as you can see. So the planned pit stop for us is actually on lap 8. But as you can see on the bottom left, on lap 6, a few cars are already coming in. Actually, quite a lot of cars are coming in for the one and only planned pit stop in lap 6, which is, I think, is extremely early. So yeah, our pit stop is planned for lap 8 as we get on the grass and almost lose the rear end. Whoa, that was a close call. So yeah, 1.5 more laps to go for us until we make our pit stop. So we move all the way to the end of lap 7, which is not our planned pit stop. Our planned pit stop is even 1 lap later. So is Lance Stroll's. But Esteban Ocon and Carlos Sainz, who was the car behind us, also pits, and a few more cars in the front pitted too. So we are now up to P3 at the moment. Obviously, when everyone pitted, we're not in P3 anymore, but it's great. It's the first, we can say it's the first time that our team ran in the podium positions. And the first race, it was the first time our team ran in the podium positions. So yeah, that was quite a big milestone actually that we just achieved there. But yeah, we've come in to the pits for our first pit stop on lap 8. from soft to medium tires. Our pit box obviously way at the end because we didn't participate in the last year in 2020, as we've jumped Lance Stroll in the pit lane. We've just jumped Lance Stroll in the pit lane, so we're technically up into P. I was going to say we're up into P10, but Carlos Sainz just jumped us, so we're back down to P11. But we've jumped Lance Stroll, which is great news for us. So now we move all the way from lap 9 to lap 12, and we are up into P10 actually, because Carlos Sainz retired from this race. Yes, Carlos Sainz retired just a few laps after the pit stop. Carlos Sainz retired in this race right in front of us, had an engine failure. So yeah, Lance Stroll's now right up our gearbox. We cover the inside just to make sure, but he was unable to make a move around the outside or down the inside because we covered that obviously. But Lance Stroll caught up to us quite massively in the last few laps, which is not great for us. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. I can't believe we're actually running in the points in our first race for our new team Alfa Ferrari, and we are running in the points. I would not have believed that we would run in the points in the first race. So yeah, pretty crazy race already now. But as you can see, Lance Stroll is putting the pressure on us, so we have to stay focused to try to keep the P10. So we move all the way from to the end of lap 13 actually, and Lance Stroll is still right behind us. He lost it, well, you can't really say he lost a bit, but he's not as close as he was on the lap before. He still has the DRS though. So yeah, we really have to stay focused because I really want this P10. But Lance Stroll is coming for us now. Maybe he's going to try around the outside. Yes, he breaks it, but we have the inside, push him out wide a bit, and we keep the P10. We keep ahead of Lance Stroll, which is great for us. And yeah, as I just said, that would be awesome if we score our first points at our first race, with our new team, or yeah, with our new team. That would be awesome. It's like Haas in 2016, scoring the first points on their JV. Obviously, thinking about 5 years down the line, so 5 years in the game, we don't want to end up like Haas. We want to win championships, but at the moment that would be great. Every single point counts. It doesn't matter if it's only 1 point. Just the feeling of having a points finish is just great. But yeah, Lance Stroll dropped back a bit on us now, and Pierre Gasly is actually pressurizing him, and Pierre Gasly is actually quite far up in this race, quite far ahead, quite far up the rankings actually. He's in P12. I would not have thought that, because the AlphaTauri is actually, well, the car is a bit better than our car, but nowhere near the Renaults, McLarens, and all the other cars. But Lance Stroll is getting on us massively now. He's gonna make me go. Try make a move round the outside. We break later, then we push him a bit while lock up. Hit Lance Stroll, but we keep ahead of him. We keep ahead of Lance Stroll and keep the P10. And we've kept the P10 throughout the whole lap now. So we will come through the final corners as Alex Albon wins the opening race of 2020. We come through the final corner to finish in P10 in our first race with our new team. We will finish the Australian Grand Prix in P10. Get in.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So yeah, actually quite a surprise winner there with Alexander Albon. Would not have thought that. The tie wins ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas, his teammate, is in P4. We end up in P10. We ended up in the points. Come on. What a great first race. And Nick de Vries went all the way up to P18, I think. So yeah, in the constructors standings, they're in P7 at the moment. P7 after the first race. Imagine if we keep this until the end of the season. That would be mad. That would be great. So I'm still buzzing with that P10. I said I couldn't wait for this career mode to start. And to start it in that way is just awesome. As we get a simulator training in for our drivers, for Nick de Vries and myself. We will go ahead and purchase a few upgrades for the next Grand Prix. One on the chassis side, which costs 500 R&D points, and one on the engine side. I don't think they're going to be done for the next Grand Prix because the next Grand Prix is literally in 2 days. Well, in the game, it's in 2 days, but we can get a new sponsor right now. We can get a new sponsor. So obviously trying to get the right balance once again. To get the right balance between weekly income and goal bonus. So we're going to sign with Akita Oil because I thought that balance is just perfect. The goal is to score 10 constructors points in 1 weekend, and I think that's definitely possible. Obviously we had a great start into this career, for this team, for Alfa Ferrari. So yeah, I definitely think that's possible for the future in the season. Still 15 races to go, a long way to go. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you liked it, be sure to smash that like button. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Goodbye.